take me back to when you sparred Tyson Fury and first found out that he tampered with his glove. Can you please give me that story, uncut, the whole truth of what took place and how you found out Tyson Fury tampered with his glove in sparring?
You need to be concerned because of where you're going in your career. Your manager should know about stuff like this and you really got to get I'm sorry to be a dick, but you got to get your manager on board with the entire thing. Because the entire camp, what kind of gloves he wears, like this is your manager's job to protect you. Like I'm supposed to protect you too, but what am I going to say to them? Hey guys, Tyson shouldn't have those gloves, it's unsafe. Barry, get the fuck out of camp.
Yeah, me too. I'll go home.
Yeah, but this.
I don't 2 weeks. I've done enough.
Bro, not only these gloves beat up, you can I can tell. No, I can tell.
They pushed
that
it to the front.
Beating these gloves up on a wall or something. Look, you can see that from here.
I can't believe that. But I personally,
I'm shocked. This does shock me. Like it doesn't shock me.
Bro, I can't do it.
It shocks me.
No, but I don't think.
No, don't. Here, you make.
All right. Well, it all started when I was the first day we sparred. I did really, really well, and well, let's go. Let's be honest. If they're shitty people, we got to say. Okay, so I went to the camp. I flew to the camp, ended up landing. They picked me up from the airport in the middle of the night. Ben Davison and this other guy named Tim. That Ben Davison is Tyson Fury's trainer at the time. We were talking in the car. He was like, Tyson Fury says you're a good work, a great sparring partner, and a good friend. And I'm like, yeah, me and Tyson are like good people and stuff. And then this other guy, Timothy, was like, yeah, I've never seen this guy, Timothy, before. He just got added onto the team. So he was like, yeah, Tyson talks you up and stuff like that, says you're great work, and says you're up next. In a couple interviews, he also upped me and credited me. And so we get there, and he's like, we'll take you out for groceries tomorrow in the morning. That stuff didn't happen. They didn't take me out for groceries or any type of food or anything to get any food or fuel for the sparring session. But anyways, we end up going to Wild Card Gym, meeting up with Tyson Fury. We're getting ready to spar, and they hand me these big-ass, like, pillow gloves. I think they're called, like, the Paffin sport gloves or something like that. They hand me these big, like, pillowy gloves. I think they're 20 ounces almost. And then they're all, like, they were all very attentive to me and putting my gloves on and the gloves that they gave me and making sure, oh, yeah, does Nick have Vaseline on his gloves? Oh, yeah, Nick, is your gloves on right? Oh, yeah, Nick. They were, like, so on my gloves. It was like, damn, like, what, you guys gave me these motherfuckers. Like, these ain't even mine. And then we go in the ring and spar. Basically, the thing is with Tyson, like, if you're first, you can beat him because he's always moving. He always likes to move to be first, the first to move. Because he doesn't have any punching power, so his style has to be movement. Because he has nothing to really feel really dangerous, so that'll keep you off you. That's why he moves like a crackhead in the ring. So like he just be moving around, shooting snot boogers, like flinching, twitching, looking at stuff, licking his tongue out, like just doing a bunch of weird stuff. And then so we get out there. I just start feinting him more. I feint him twice, double jab him out of position. Like I try to get him in 3 moves because he's defensive and he likes to weave and dip. So I threw a bull move out there to try to get him to react, and then did a double jab because there's not that much body weight behind it. Then I started coming with the fire, and then I get him out position, and then I was hitting him with certain shots, but he was sparring somebody else at the time. So when you spar somebody else and you come in to spar another new person, it's hard to try to get to adjust to that person. But even if still you're supposedly the guy, the heavyweight world undisputed champion, you're supposed to hold your own in any sparring partner during any time.
He already warmed up. He should be on his rhythm already. So you're basically saying you kind of got the best of him that day. So yeah, you could continue.
Yeah, I got the best of him. I hit him with 3 shots, and the Wilder hit him with a 1, 2, 3. If you can move out the way of like one shot, but you can, as a heavyweight, you can't move out the way of 3 or 4 fast shots coming at you. Like you're not going to be able to move out the way of all that fire. And then so he ended up getting hit. He ended up grabbing the ropes when I hit him. Well, overhand right. He tried to escape, like feint me, and then like turn his shoulder and escape out. And I threw a wide overhand right. My arm was almost locked out straight because he's so tall. And I caught him on top of the head, and then he grabbed the ropes. And then they're like, yeah, that was a good sparring session. Blah blah blah. We'll get you another time. And Freddie Roach said, oh yeah, that was his first day sparring or whatnot. And then I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So so we end up, they say we're not going to spar for the rest of the week. This is on Wednesday. They say we're not going to spar for the rest of the week. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I don't even have to worry about sparring this week. So I just like let it go in my head, relax a little bit more. And then out of nowhere, then the next day in the morning, they text everybody in the house except for me and ask them, is Nick ready to fight? And I'm like, what? Like, why didn't they text me? But And let me mind you, they didn't even pay for my dinner that night. They didn't. When the boxer goes to camp of somebody who's a undisputed heavyweight champion, or even any camp, it's set out to where the boxer just goes there and worries about performing, not what he's going to eat, where he's going to stay at, where he's going to be, at what time, how he's going to get places, none of that. And all those stuff I had to worry about. Then the next morning with no food or nothing, they tell me like Tyson Fury wants to is Nick ready or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on? Blah blah blah. Like, why they texting everybody in the house and not telling me, am I ready? But I'm texting these people for food and they can't even text me back. And I'm like, okay. So we pull up to the gym first, and then Tyson Fury and them try to come in the gym and they try to sneak behind us and scare us. Didn't work. Because I don't know, something about like the British accent and smack talking. I don't like, it's not gully. Like there's nothing to freeze you up about it.
There's no spark to it. There's no
there's no conviction. So they try to scare us, and then we go inside. It's all mind games. Like that's all Tyson Fury is, a giant mind game, because he has no power. He has to play games because he has no power. He's been doing this style for years. So we went to go spar, and they were like all on my gloves, even more extra. They put so much Vaseline on my gloves. Look like too lubed. I don't even know how to describe it, man. It looked weird. Yeah, they were like, Freddie Roach is gonna be your corner today. Mind you, the first time I sparred Tyson Fury, I had nobody in my corner telling me what to do. I just took with my coach. Me and my coach went over, and I said, I'm just gonna stick with this the whole entire time, because this is gonna be a cakewalk, because I got better. And I got better while Tyson Fury already peaked at his prime and already coming down the hill. Because if you take drugs away in access, and liquor and access, you don't peak no more. It's impossible to peak when he's been treating his body like shit. Let me tell you, you guys, people go about and want to talk about professional athletes eating healthy and doing healthy things for the lifestyle. Let me tell you, half of them don't. They just do shit and then take steroids, and that's a supplementation for hard work and dedication. But so we get it.
1,000%.
Yeah, we get in the ring, and then we start sparring, and then like Freddie Roach tells me that you're faster than him, just go in there and throw overhand right. He wanted me to fight like Deontay Wilder, but that's throwing overhand right against Tyson Fury when he was bending at the waist at that time to get ready for a Wilder. That only sets me up to get countered. So like I was just throwing overhand rights and missing. And and they had the first sparring session, they had it on video. And they were like, and you guys saw Ben Davidson's breakdown. He's a pretty articulate man in breaking down stuff, which he also copied off of Barry Robinson's breakdowns, and uses the same terminology when Joe Saunders was fighting David Lemieux. Talk about respect that man. If you go to the guy that commented on my thing after I made the post, Barry Robinson, he says respect that man. That's one of his calls, and when we're in the corner. But anyways, so we're sparring, and then Tyson Fury he comes with a new game plan. Like he came out fired up today, and then he came out. He feinted. He was feigning me out of position, and he switched to southpaw, and he dug a body shot into my left rib. And I've been hit to the body really hard, but it didn't the force, the amount of body weight behind the punch didn't change. Because I sparred Tyson Fury, let me remind you, 3 months. 3 days a week, some days 4 days a week. And that day he went 15 rounds. You could look at his Twitter handle and go through his Twitter history and saw how he was beating his ass. And then you could see how he was putting on makeup before interviews. So I'm telling you, I got to see Tyson Fury when he was coming down from weight, from going into another camp, and then going and peaking in a camp and coming back down. Like how NBA teams do when they're on a roll, when it's like the NBA team, this team cannot be stopped at this period of time because they're peaking. Well, a fighter has to peak every time before they fight. And in training, because you could win or lose the fight in training too, because you could out-train yourself in the fight and overtrain. So I got to see Tyson Fury come up and go down, up and down, to a point where his sugar levels were messed up, his blood levels were messed up, and whatever. But we get in there, we're sparring, and I felt the punch, and it's the same weight behind the punch, but it feels like it feels like if somebody put one of those a stack of quarters in a sock and tied the sock and smacked you in the head with it. That's exactly how it felt. I felt like a hard object just being trying to penetrate up in my ribs, and then after that, the punching force behind it wasn't alarming. So I wasn't like, oh yeah, that's a hard shot. It was just what the hell. Even if you watch Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder too, you see Wilder able to take a lot of those right hands that his glove was flapping around with, because Tyson Fury necessarily doesn't have no dangerous punching power. That was an accumulation over time of damage. And I felt it. I was like, damn, like I started going on defense. And then he did the same move again. He stayed in orthodox, feinted out and switched southpaw and hit me right on top of my, right on top of the left side of my temple. Cause I'm an orthodox fighter. So I didn't switch my positioning. And I had my hand right on my, since I couldn't see him, since he disappeared, I lowered my torso and I stayed in a defensive type of position, tucked my chin and lifted my shoulders. And then he hit me right on top of the temple. And I was like, I just felt it was like, ding. But like, I wasn't wobbled or dazed, but like, I was like, yo, this motherfucker hit me with some shit in his fucking glove. And bro, and then we start, and then whatever, then the round is over. The round, not after that last hit, but that was like ding. And then like a minute went by, then the round was over. And I get out and Showtime is all there. Motherfucking ESPN is there. I'm like, everybody's there. I get out the ring. I'm like, bro, I'm like feeling my ribs. I'm like, man. Like the headshot hurt worse than the rib shot, but I felt like my ribs hurt when I got out the ring because adrenaline came down. When you spar, you relax, you won't really feel shit. But when the adrenaline comes down, I was like, damn. And Tyson Fury's brother came up to me. He's like, oh, you cracked his ribs. I'm like, haha, funny. No, motherfucker. Tyson's like, no, I didn't crack his ribs. Just get on the bike. So we get on the bike and I start like doing some stuff. I start doing the bike. And Tyson Fury's right next to me on the bike. So we're just riding on the bike. And I'm like, man, dude, like that shit, like that is not a bike ain't gonna fix this shit. We get on, and then one of his personal physical therapists, whatever, this other skinny, like lurch looking, they all look alike. They all look like a version of Tyson Fury. It's weird. But like he had me like stretch and pull, like he had me stretch and pull, do this stretch and pull to try to pull out my lats. Because they thought I stretched out my lat. And I'm like, bro, I didn't stretch out my lat. I'm like, bro, somebody hit me with some shit in my rib, bro. And then I go home, contact my manager. I'm like, bro, something is wrong on off. And then I ended up taking a shower. But when I was taking a shower, I was laying on the floor because I was all like fucked up. Like I didn't know, like I was like fucked up. Like my shit was hurting. And then
you felt the same force, but the effect was different. It's obvious the glove was clearly tampered with, but you feel like there was probably like a metal in the glove, like the doctor said, Deontay Wilder doctor.
Yep. It was like I felt like an object, like a pin, because he don't hit that hard. Like basically it was the same amount of force and acceleration, but it was a different object in the goddamn glove. And then like I get out and then so then the next day I get out of the shot, we start training. Like we're just training. This is just a training day because sparring is not going to happen. So we're just training. And then I was training with Barry Robinson. Oh yeah, and right before that sparring session, Tyson Fury and Lawrence Okolie were talking about hitting somebody in their temple and how there's no coming back from that. And then he tried to hit me in my fucking temple, but he hit me on the front, like my front skull plate, like the front skull plate. Thank God, because if he would have hit me in my temple, I'd have been even more fucked up. I'd have probably been trying to do.
He hit Wilder, right?
Yeah, he hit Wilder behind the ear. He's aiming for those kill points. He knows he knows that, you know what I'm saying? He don't have power. He has to place shot. You know, Deontay Wilder doesn't have to place shot. Deontay Wilder could let them things go and catch you one of them shits, you will be hurt. Tyson Fury, to actually like tickle somebody, he would have to place shot. Like, so this dude,
they basically gave him power. They created power for Tyson Fury.
Saying Tyson Fury is some type of god power puncher, and he has to prove that now in sparring, or what, to get confidence, or just because I was out there for 3 months and I know his systems, it could be like he can, like, shit hasn't changed with him. And I feel like he lost a step as a fighter. He didn't get better as a fighter. He lost a step. You don't do that stuff to your body and get better as a fighter. That shit does not happen. You do not do that shit as an athlete, like, let's use our brains, people. As an athlete, you do not do drugs and get better as an athlete. You don't do drugs for 10 plus years and get faster and stronger as an athlete. This shit doesn't work. And then at the top of that, he's in his late 30s. That shit don't happen.
And gain 150 pounds, then lose it in like a couple months.
Oh man, that's not even. Yeah,
the man had to take something to get all that weight off.
Yeah, I mean, like, from what I know, he definitely before every camp he gains hella weight and has to take that stuff off, like Ricky Hatton. I don't know what's up with the pubs out there and stuff like that, where they can't stop drinking or whatnot, or doing drugs and doing like ecstasy and shit like that. But like, I don't know what's going on with that. But Tyson
so
Fury.
After the shower, after you were taking a shower, you felt a lot of pain. Is that when you went to Tyson Fury locker room and found a tampered glove?
Yeah, that's when I had my suspicions that we were training, and I was like, Barry Robinson, we were doing these circle drills, and I had to go under Barry Robinson's hands. And then one time I went under his hands, and he hit me by the same, I went under his hands, and he hit me by like the same spot I got dazed at. And I went under his hand, and I came up, and it was like everything was all off. I was like, bro, see, no, that shit is fucked up. I was like, everything was wobbly when I got touched in my head. And I was like, nope. I was like, something's fucked up. So I went in the back. I remember Tyson Fury's dumbass. He said like, oh, we're gonna put I'm gonna put our sparring gear together. It was the same day that the ESPN and all them people were there. And so I go there and go in the back, and I'm looking at my gloves. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm looking at my gloves. I'm looking at everybody's gloves in the back. I see Tyson Fury's stuff. I'm like, I see his stuff, and I'm like, dude, this dude is open palm and stopping people. I'm like, so I grab his glove, and I'm like, and then the shit just starts falling out this motherfucking glove. You know, on cartoons when they grab like somebody's pants, like put them upside down, and just dangerous shit falls out their pockets. That's exactly how this shit was. And like, she just started falling out this motherfucker's glove, and then I was like this, and I was like literally like, and I go outside to the rest of the people to show Ben Davison. Brian Phillips was there too in camp. Lawrence Okoli was there. I go out there and show them, like, look at this. They're like, what in the fuck? And I don't know, like, now I'm starting to have my descriptions about Lawrence Okoli because I don't know if he knew something about it already, because Anthony Joshua knows about this shit and he's not saying shit. But him and Tyson Fury are getting ready to fight a 2-fight deal after he fights Wilder, which is kind of funny. If I spoil the pudding, oh well. They're trying to like set up. Like I felt like they were trying to set up. Like I showed Lawrence Okoli, and like he's like, oh, I'm getting on the phone talking with Anthony Joshua. Lawrence Okoli is managed by Anthony Joshua, and he called him right in front of me. And then Anthony Joshua knows about this shit, but he ain't saying shit. But him and Tyson Fury are getting ready to fight a 2-fight deal. So I guess Tyson Fury's just coming over to U.S. and just fucking people up. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking fighters up.
Remember Anthony Joshua offered to spar Tyson Fury to get him prepared for Deontay Wilder. He personally didn't like Deontay Wilder's style. He felt like Wilder has his kryptonite because that power, you just can't prepare for it when you get cracked. So he kind of wanted Tyson Fury to clean up that mess, and then they could fight. So I'm glad you revealed that to the public, that Anthony Joshua is aware of Tyson Fury tampering with his gloves and sparring.
100%, 100,000,050%. Anthony Joshua knows that Tyson Fury tampered with his gloves in sparring. And then after that, like, we don't call Ben right away. We just all make videos. We all make videos with the gloves. Like, and I don't know why Lawrence Okoli didn't drop his video, but we all made videos with the gloves saying like, oh yeah, like these fucked up ass gloves of Tyson Fury and shit like that. And then after that happens, call Ben. Ben's like, what are you talking about? The gloves are tampered with. And mind you, I still don't have fucking food. It's like day 4, day 3 or some shit. And I'm like, bro, man, like, and they still like, and I'm sparring this man, training with them, and they still don't pay me. And then I'm like, yo, bro, yeah, these gloves are fucked up. I'm going home. Like, no, what are you talking about? You're speaking rubbish. You think we tamper with gloves? And then in my head, I'm like, fuck it, just tell them. Like, you guys fuck with these fucking gloves. Because ain't no way in hell I put on gloves all my life. I've been boxing for 10 years. I haven't even been boxing for as long as Tyson Fury's been boxing, but I know if I put on a pair of gloves that are flip-floppy, I know when I put on a pair of gloves that are fucked up, because I know when I need to buy a new pair of gloves when basically they're fucked up. And so these gloves had no padding in them, and I was like, you guys took out the padding. There was literally, like, I took the laces, the Pro-Locks, I opened them all the way up, and I saw there was like a slit inside there, and then you could put your whole hand in there, and then there was like a little pocket in there. And then I went to another green gloves inside there, the gloves that Isaac Lowe was using. I dumped his gloves out, and an egg weight fell out the motherfucker. I didn't even know what an egg weight was at the time. I like saw this, I was like, dude, what the fuck is this, bro? I was like, what is these niggas do? Like, bro, I was like, dude, it was like an egg weight with like, it was wrapped in like rubber, so you could like slide your fingers in it or whatever. I was like, dude, what? I never seen none. I was like, dude, this is illegal. So I was like, bro, what is this? And they were like, damn. Like, Brian Phillips and all everybody, they just start laughing. They're like, I can't believe this. And then
it's official. Tyson Fury is the cheater of the century. I mean, the man. Oh yeah. You know, we know the gloves was clearly tampered with, but now we got to worry about if there's metal in the glove, if there's an object in the glove. Because one thing for sure, you do not gain power overnight. Obviously, you spar Tyson Fury on more than one occasion. And all of a sudden, he just gains power out of nowhere. You spar him daily, you know how his power feels. And one day, one night, you feel all that pain, like there was something in the glove. Forget the glove being tampered with. It felt like there was an object in the glove. So again, we have a witness, which is you, of course, and we got doctors co-signing this, and these decafs and old media still trying to cover up for Tyson Fury because he has the best hope insurance in the world since he got the complexion for the protection. I mean, Tyson Fury, his hope insurance is better than Geico.
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I still got the world. I still got the world. I still got the world.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.